Finn's arc felt like a bolt-on from an entirely different movie. Maz Kanata's brief turn seemed to be beamed in straight from a Saturday morning kids cartoon spin-off. Maybe it was, and maybe its main purpose was to help promote Lucasfilm's Forces of Destiny web series, where Maz recants tales of do and daring by an exclusively female cast of characters from throughout the Star Wars franchise. Some suspect that Lupita Nyong'o's scene was as much to do with diversity quotas as it had to do with anything, and whatever the truth, her brief scene did seem entirely at odds with her character's portrayal in the first film. If it was primarily about diversity box ticking, then surely they could have easily added a bit of colour to the Rebel Alliance's predominantly white feminist command structure. And if the marketing department insisted they wedge the orange Yoda in somewhere, then the Casino Planet did seem to offer a fairly suitable opportunity. But most annoyingly, if they really had to phone a friend with an intimate knowledge of the universe's various scum, villainy and codebreakers, then there was another at least as suitably qualified applicant who was quite literally waiting for their call. Sadly, Rian Johnson said he couldn't think of a role for Billy D. Williams, which ironically meant that for all Disney's grandstanding about inclusion and diversity, black actors in prominent roles actually got less screen time in The Last Jedi than both episodes 5 and 6 of the original trilogy. Not that everyone was okay with that.
I have feelings, good, bad, and otherwise, about Star Wars, and I have a lot. I spent whole day talking about the whole Darth Vader situation,
Really?
Oh,
You could?
yeah, like the part where he was totally a black guy whose name basically was James Earl Jones,
Right.
and we were all, and but while he was black, he was terrible and bad and awful, and used to cut off white men's hands and didn't, actually claim his son. But as soon as he claims his son and goes over to the good, he takes off his mask and he is white. Oh yes, I have many, many feelings about that.
Still, at least Lupita might get something more to work with next time, unlike our next actor, whose character became a firm favourite almost as soon as she was cast.
So tell the fans what they want to hear, because I think everyone agrees that you were criminally underused in The Force Awakens. So are we going to see more Captain Phasma?
Phasma may not be the first Chrome Dome to make a disappointingly early exit, but she is the first to manage it twice in a row. Despite playing a prominent part of The Last Jedi's preceding trailers, she has even less lines than last time, turns up, has a quick fight, and then dies. Again, presumably. You have to admire Gwendoline Christie's commitment and seemingly genuine enthusiasm for the role, which promised so much and yet delivered so little. Either that or she really is a really, really good actress.
2 female cast members dominate this film. The characters are women, and that wasn't happening in 1977, was it?
No, and thank goodness it's happening now. And Ryan has such wonderful humour and puts you at real ease and invites collaboration. He wants to know what you think. He wants to know what you think about your story, what you think is happening, how you feel about the dialogue that's happening. And that's an incredible freedom to give an actor. And the idea that there is a female character who is encased in armour, and we primarily form a relationship with her due to her actions and her character, rather than the way she has been made flesh, was very interesting to me.
Incredibly, the one intriguing bit of character development we might have got to witness ended up being left on the cutting room floor. Despite having risen through the ranks of what essentially are a bunch of space Nazis, a major element of Phasma's persona is that she's been celebrated as a role model for young girls. And consequently, after watching the following outtake, you may find yourself wondering if they cut this scene because it could be interpreted as portraying the fans' favourite femme Nazi in a less than positive and empowering light.
It's a pretty good scene, which raises a couple questions about how she survived, because we know that this movie takes place the day after The Force Awakens. So she was put down the garbage chute of Starkiller Base and then it exploded, but she's back. So does it mean she got away? Like, how? It raises a lot of questions. Is Han Solo still alive? Who knows? Maybe they can pay off Harrison Ford enough money and he'll just crawl his ass back on the screen. The reason I like it is that Finn calls out Captain Phasma for killing some of her own men. And instead of her own men just blindly following her like bad guys would, they decide they're going to take her in and arrest her and or kill her. So she has to kill off all of her men on this elevated platform, and it is cool. Then they fight, Finn and Phasma. And the fight's alright. But what's really cool is that Finn chops off Phasma's hand and then throws her off this platform and kills her. It's a much better death than the stupid rebel scum line. That kind of stuff just feels forced to me. It doesn't feel organic. This one was kind of cool. I thoroughly endorse it. It's the best part of the movie you didn't get to see, and it's better than 99% of the actual movie that you paid to see. So Disney is hiding the best shit behind a paywall.
No doubt the action figures with the hand blaster that appears out of nowhere will have been selling by the crate load, unlike the ones for our next heroine, who got more lines than Phasma, but not in a good way.